Okay, welcome everyone. As we are co-sponsored by the Rezepkowitz family in honor of their parents, we're co-sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Chazan, Lefu Shalema, Shoshana Bas Panina, Simone Bas Rachel. We're co-sponsored by Binyamin Rivlin, Lina Nishmas Yitzhak Ben Avram Yehuda Levi, by Shelley Zeitlin for his children, Eli and Orit and Ora, by Be'er Goldwasser, Lefu Shalema for Moshe Meir Ben Esther Fadel, and for Dov Meir Ben Chai Gittel, and for Akar Satay for this year, by Shalom Fogel, Eli Nishmas, Yaakov Zeb Ben Yehuda Aryeh, Rivka Bas Yaakov Yosef, Tzivya Miriam Bas God, and Yosef Ben Sion Ben Yaakov Zeb, that the Neshama should have an Aliyah. We're learning now by the two dots, 3 lines from the bottom of Daf Mem Testament Beis, 3 lines from the bottom of Mem Testament Beis as we welcome in Irving Fishbaum, Michael, Dov Salkowitz. Dov, are you feeling better?
I hope to make the shop to come to shul tomorrow.
Okay, good. You should feel better. Fu Shalema, Mel Zachter, Eddie Chazan, Ruven Pollack, Yaakov Warman, Baruch Ian, Rabbi Kranz, Shalom Fogel, Saba, Marshall Castle, Yisrael Fisher, Yitzi Fuchs, Stephen Holtzman, Itchy, Shelley Zeitlin, Dr. Guy, Barry Cement, Eddie Chazan, Ilya Shutman, Moshe Lehman, Nachman Chap, Avram Rezepkowitz, Yeshua Shmuel Eisenberg, Yitzi Muller, Abe Arbach. We welcome here in the shul Barish Gesseman, thank you, Gedalia Engel, Chaim Kramer, Michal Avram, Ruven Shanet, Baruch Atadi, Nelein Melech Adam Shakol Nibadvar.
Barry just disappeared.
Rob's brother, Yisrael, showed up today at our Vesikin meeting.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it was nice to see him.
Very nice.
And a nephew of yours, too.
Is Avigdor around, or he's in Eretz?
Yes, Avigdor's back around.
He's back around?
He's been in and out of Eretz Yisrael quite a bit. Now he's home for a couple of weeks, I think.
Tell him we miss him here in this year.
Okay.
We'd love to have him. Give him the new, Zoom coordinates.
Sure.
Tell him we'll give him a chocolate if he comes. Okay. Skila Sreifa Hereg Vechenek. So now the Gemara is going to tell us how we know which Misa is more severe. And the Gemara will tell us that the difference is that if a person is chayiv 2 misas, we have to know which one is more severe. We give him the more severe one. So a guy, like Barry, who does a lot of things wrong, right? So, and I say Barry, I meant also Marshall. You do a lot of things wrong, so we give him the more severe penalty. So anyway, skila chamura misreifa, stoning is more severe than burning. Shekei nitno lamagade because it is the punishment for the blasphemer and the idol worshiper, and that's the most heinous crime because he stretches his hand against the essential belief of God. Says the Gemara, Adarab, Sreifa Chamura. We should say that Sreifa is more severe. Shekain Nitno Labas Kain Shezinsa, because it's given to the daughter of a Kain who is Mizana. In other words, if a daughter of a Yisrael is Mizana, she gets skila. But if she's the daughter of a Kayin, we're talking about Nara Amarasa, if she's the daughter of a Kayin, gets Reifa. And what's the Chumrah? So you see that since she dishonors also the kahuna, she gets an upped from skila to sreifa. So that shows that sreifa is more chamer. Says the Gemara, no, Kasavi Rabbanan, the Rabbanan hold, you know what Bas Kayin gets sreifa? That's only Nesua Yaitza the sreifa. A normal married woman gets chenek, gets choking. If she's a Bas Kayin, she gets sreifa. But V'loy Arusa, and not an Arusa gets skila. And since the Arusa gets skila and not the standard sreifa, shmamina skila chamura. And the reason why an Arusa is more severe is because it dishonors the parent home more because she's still in the parent home. Now, skila chamura misayif. Stoning is more severe than beheading. Because skila is given to the most heinous crime of blasphemy and idolatry. And its severity is like we already explained. So the Gemara says, Adarab, Sayif Chamer, the penalty of beheading should be more severe. To a city that goes astray after idolatry. What's the chumrah of a city that goes astray? Because not only do we kill the person, but we destroy all their money. Says Gemara, Marta, Eze Koyach Meruba. What's worse? And in Midataiva, what's better? Koyach HaMadiach, the one who causes it, Oy Koyach HaNidach, or the one that is subverted. Obviously, the one that seduces is worse, like the same way by tzedakah, gadol hama'asa yoiser min ha'isa. Now, haviyomer koyach hamadiach is comer. And the madiach, the one that subverts the city, gets skila. V'tanya madicha yiranidachas b'skila. So we see that skila is more severe than sayif. As we welcome in our 30th Zoomer of the evening, Jay Siegel. Skila chamura mechenek, stoning, is more severe than strangulation. It's given to the blasphemer and the idol worshiper. Because that's, goes against the essential belief in God. Strangulation should be more. It's given to one who hits their father and mother. Because they're covered is juxtaposed to the honor of heaven. So and therefore, since it's juxtaposed to the honor of heaven, it's not only attack against God, but also attack against parents. So that's more than idolatry. That's only an attack against God. It doesn't mean that it's equal to the Kavod HaMakom, because equal to the Kavod HaMakom wouldn't be an argument why it should be more severe. But it's as we said, there are three partners in man: Father, Mother, and Hashem. Hashem says the way you treat your parents, that's the way I know you'll treat me. So hitting parents is also an attack on God. So that's worse. However, says the Gemara, Mida Apke Rachmanullah Rusa Bas Yisrael. Michlal Nesua Bas Yisrael, since the Torah upgraded an Arusa, that if you have adultery with a betrothed maiden, you don't get the standard penalty of strangulation of chenek, but you get skila, so you see that it's upgraded to the penalty of skila. Shmamina skila chamura. So therefore we see that stoning is chamer. So here we just went through how we know that skila is more chamer than sreifa, sayif, and chenek.
Why is Narusa any worse than the
I explained, because since she's home, she's attached to her home, she's also bringing dishonor to her home. Now, Shreifa Chamura Misayif, burning is more severe than beheading. Shekei nitna lebas koyin shezinsa, because burning is given to a bas koyin that's mezana. Umay chumra, and what's the chumra? The chumra is shekei mechaleles es avia. She's dishonoring her father, the house of the kahuna. Says it's given to a city that's subverted. Even their money is destroyed. So here the Gemara now says Nemar Avia beskila. It says Avia by stoning. V'Nemar Avia b'sreifa, and it says Avia by sreifa. Ma Avia Hamer beskila. Skila chamura musayif. The stoning is more severe than the beheading. Af Avia Hamer b'sreifa. Sreifa chamura musayif. Okay, so that's the first time we resorted over here to Gzei Rishava. Now, Sreifa chamura mechenek, burning is more severe than strangulation. Shekein nitna lebas kain shezinsa. It's given to a bas kain that's mezana. Or my chumra, what's her chumra kida amran? We said she dishonors the kahanic house as well. Adarab chenek chumra. Shekein niten lamaka avivima. It's given to one who hits his father and mother. Or my chumra. Shekein hukish kvoid on the kvoid hamakam. Their honor is juxtaposed to the honor of Hashem. However, the Gemara says, "Mida apke rachmana l'nesua bas koyin, michlal nesua bas Yisrael." Since the married bas koyin is upgraded to the penalty of sreifa from the standard penalty of strangulation for regular adultery, mechanik l'sreifa. So we see that because of dishonoring the Kahanic house, it's upgraded to the more severe penalty of Sreifa, Shmamina, Sreifa Chamur. There we see conclusively that Sreifa is more severe than strangulation. And now we're going to talk about beheading. Look at Marshall lifting up his head. Right, very good. Sayif Chamer Mechanik. I want you to know, Marshall, when I just made that demonstration, Rabbi Kranz looked sad. So he doesn't want us to do away with you.
It just wouldn't be the same here, would it?
There's always one person.
That's usually Saba, right?
Yeah, but they didn't say that about me.
No.
Me, it's okay, right? All right, thank you.
For you, it's stoning.
Mary, turn the other cheek.
I'm always stoned. It's okay, thank you.
Now, Sayif Chamer Mechanik, beheading is more severe. I'm telling you, this is really cheerful topic tonight. Real cheerful topic. I'm watching Yisrael. He says, I wish I could have been listening to this in Tannersville, in a more relaxed setting. Sayif Chamer, I want you to know that Berish stayed here especially. He didn't go away this week to hear this Gemara.
When we talk about one is more Chamer than the other,
Right.
What are we referring to?
I told you that the nafkamina. Oh, just in time. So anyway, the nafkamina is if a person is chayiv 2 deaths, so he's given the more severe one. So we have to know which one is more severe. I demonstrated that on Marshall before. So now the Gemara tells us that Sayif Chamer Mechanik, that the sword is more severe than strangulation. Why? Shekein nitno lanche yohanidachas, because it's given to those members of the city that was subverted. Or my chumra, and what its severity? Shekein mamaynan of it, because even their money is destroyed. So the Gemara says, Adarab, chenek kamer. Here we already know that shekein nitno lamaka of v'imay. It's given to the one who hits his parents. Or my chumrah, what's its chumrah? Shekein hukish kvaydim lekvayr amakim. Says, even though it's so bad, but Paishit Yadei Be'ikir Adif. In other words, even though I gave you idea earlier that Makkah Avah will be more than Avodah Zarah because it's attack on God and on one's parents, but still the idea of denying God and worshiping idolatry is worse, and therefore Sayif is worse than strangulation. Now this was all going according to the opinion of the Rabbanan, that skila is more chamer than sreifa, and the Rabbanan hold that beheading is more chamer than strangulation. Now Reb Shimon mixes it all up. Reb Shimon says that sreifa is more chamer than skila, and that strangulation is more chamer than beheading. So now we're going to have to see why Reb Shimon mixes it up. So Rabbi Shimon Aimer, Sreifa Chamura Meskila, burning is more severe than Skila. So here, it's the opinion of Reb Shimon that even a Nara Marasa Kohenes gets Sreifa. Shekein Nitnal Bas Kohen Zinsa. O my Chumra, why is she more severe? Shekein Mechaleles Esavia, because she dishonors the Kahana cows. Says it's given to the blasphemer and the idolater. Reb Shimon letamei. Reb Shimon goes according to his reasoning. Both a bas kayin who's a nesua and even a arusa is burnt. So a bas Yisrael arusa gets skila. A bas kayin is upgraded to sreifa. From the category of arusa bas Yisrael miskila l'sreifa, from stoning to burning. That shows conclusively that sreifa is more severe than skila. Sreifa chamura mechenek, he holds that burning is more chamer than strangulation. Shekein nitnul bas kain shezin. So my chumra, what's its chumra? Kida amran, it dishonors her kahana cows. Adarabba chenek chamer. Chenek is more severe. Shekein nitin l'maka aviv v'imay, which is my chumra shekein hukish kvoidim l'kvoid amakom. Their honor is juxtaposed to the covenant of Hashem. So here the Gemara says, well, I'll prove it to you that sreifa is more chamer than chenek, because normal adultery with a married woman is chenek, but if it's a bas kayin, it's sreifa. Adultery of a bas kayin, michlal nesua bas Yisrael, it upgrades the penalty of an adultery with a bas kayin. Mechenek l'sreifa, regular adultery with a married woman is strangulation. But with a bas kayin, it's sreifa. Shema mina sreifa chamura. That sreifa is more chamer than chenek. Sreifa chamura misayif. Burning is more severe than beheading. Shekein nitnul lebas kayin shezinsa, because it's given to a bas kayin that's mazana. Or my chamura kida amran. It's dishonoring her parents' home. Adarabba sayif chamer. Sayif should be more severe. Shekein nitin lanche iranidachas. It's given to those of the city that subverted to idolatry. My chumra shekame a mainan of it, even their money is destroyed. On Marta, so the Gemara says, well, look, the chi eze koyach meruba. What's worse, koyach hamadiach, the one that seduces, or koyach hanidach, or the one that seduces? So obviously, it's the one that seduces. Aviyaymer koyach hamadiach. Now, the one that seduces gets skila. The kal v'chaymer, or ma chenek shechamer misayif. Ma chenek, excuse me. The kal v'chaymer, or ma chenek shechamer misayif. Ma'adach strangulation, which is more chamer than beheading. Sreifa chamura mimenu. Sreifa, we already proved, is more chamur than chenek from adultery, that the Bas Kohen was upgraded to Sreifa from chenek. Sayef hakal, then Sayef, which is more lenient, it's more lenient than chenek. Then like kol shekein, that Sreifa is more chamer than Sayef. Again, we wanted to know how we know that Sreifa is more chamer than beheading. We said maybe beheading is more chamer because it's given to the city that's subverted, right? So we said which is more chamer? Chenek, strangulation, is strangulation is more severe than beheading, and if Sreifa is more severe than chenek, then it's surely more severe than Sayef. Now, did the Gemara establish how we know that chenek is more severe than Sayef? Not yet. You see, well, I was gonna ask you, why are we bringing in over here that the subverter is greater than the subverted? The subverter normally gets skila. However, Rab Shimon's opinion is that for subverting an iranidachas, you get strangulation. Look at Rashi. The Gemara is going to prove it later on. But it's interesting, the Gemara doesn't say this outright. But look at Rashi. Unlike the Rabbanan, who say that those that subvert a iranidachas get skila, Reb Shimon holds that those that subvert an iranidachas get chenek. So those that subvert an iranidachas get chenek. Those that are subverted get sayif. So we see that therefore chenek is more chamer than sayif. And we've already established that sreifa is more chamer than chenek because we upgrade the adultery of a married kohenes from chenek to sreifa. So if sreifa is more chamer than chenek, which is more chamer because it is the penalty given to the subverters, to the one that seduce, that is surely more chamer than sayif, the ones that are subverted. Now, it's interesting, the Gemara snuck that in without really explaining it. Well, that's why we have Rashi. Without Rashi, we are completely lost. Skila chamura mechenek. Skila is more severe than strangulation. Shekei nitna lemegade for lovid avedis kecham, because skila is the penalty to those that do the heinous crimes of blasphemy and idolatry. Meichel mekadamran. That's poshet yad beikr. It's denying the essence. Adarabba says the Gemara chenek chamer. Shekei niten lemaka over v'imay. It's given to one who smites his father and mother. Or my chomer shekei nuk shekvaydim l'kvaydim malkim. That's a very good argument that it's an attack against his parents and against God. However, mid'apke rachmanu la'arusa bas Yisrael, since the Torah upgraded an arusa bas Yisrael, not an arusa kohen, but an arusa bas Yisrael, michlal nesua bas Yisrael, mechenek l'skila, because she dishonored her parents' home, her Kanik home as well, she is upgraded to skila from strangulation, the normal penalty of adultery, shmamina skila chamura. So we see that skila is more severe than chenek. See how the Gemara, I told you many times that a brain that's used is one of the great protections against the atrophy of a brain. Why is everybody looking at something? This Gemara really gets the brain working. Skila chamura misayif, stoning is more chomer than beheading. Shekei nitna l'megadef, it's given to the megadef, and Ovid Avodah Zarah, and what's the chumra, k'da amran, that it's Paishat Yod Be'ikr. Adrab Sayif chomer, shekei nitna la'anshi erni dachas, it's given to the city that went astray. O my chumra shekei m'moinan amrat, amrat. V'chi eize koyach meruba, what's more, koyach hamadiach, the one that seduces. Or the one that's seduced, it's a greater sin to subvert, to seduce. And the one that's seduced gets chenek. And we've already explained that skila is more chomer than chenek because the Arus Bas Yisrael is upgraded from the normal penalty of chenek to skila. So if skila is more chomer than chenek, which is more chomer than sayif, which is given to those that are subverted, so v'kal v'chomer mana chenek shechomer misayif. Skila chamurim imenu, because we give it to the Arus Bas Yisrael. Sayif hakal like kol shechein. Surely skila is more chomer than beheading. Now, chenek chomer misayif. Strangulation is more chomer than the sword. Shekei nitein lamaka of v'ima, because it's given to the one that smites his father and mother. O my chomer k'damran. So the Gemara says, Adrab Sayif chomer shekei nitein lash anshiyah nidachas. O my chomer shekei memoinum avat. So we know the answer. We just said it before. That since the ones that subvert the city get chenek and the ones that are subverted get sayif, which is more the seducer or the seduced. According to the Rabbanan gets skila, but Reb Shimon Reb Shimon says they get strangulation. So we see that strangulation, which is what's given to the subverter, while saif is what's given to those that are subverted, therefore we see chenek is more chomer than beheading. Now, margala b'pumei de Reb Yochanan, a pearl in the mouth of Reb Yochanan. There's two pshatim in margal all over Shas. If it means a pearl, like margolius, or if it just means a customary mantra, something that he always said, a mantra in the mouth of Reb Yochanan. Nara hamurasa bas koyin shezinska. A nara marasa bas koyin, that's mazana beskila. The Rabbanan hold she gets skila. Reb Shimon Aimer b'sreifa. Reb Shimon says she gets sreifa. Zinsa me'avia beskila. If she was mazana with her father, that means that she slept with her father. So according to the Rabbanan, she gets skila. Reb Shimon Aimer b'sreifa. Reb Shimon says that she gets sreifa. Now here, this second case is not talking about a bas koyin, right? Zinsa me'avia, if she was an arusa, that's mezana with her father, she gets skila. Reb Shimon Aimer b'sreifa. And Reb Shimon says she gets sreifa. Now, remember, here this is a classical case of where she does, this is the case that I was talking to Gedalia about. And that is she does two crimes. She sleeps with her father, and she's mezana as an aramarasa. So, my kamash malan, so the Rabbanan, nitzua yotzel l'sreifa, only a married woman by a bas koyin gets sreifa, v'loy arusa, but not a arusa. An arusa, even though she's a bas koyin, gets skila, because the Rabban holds skila is more chomer than sreifa. Rab Shimon, according to Rab Shimon, achas arusa v'achas nesua, whether she's betrothed, whether she's married, since Rab Shimon holds sreifa is more chomer than skila, yatzel l'sreifa. B'taimamai, what's the reason? Mishum del Rabbanan skila chamura. According to Rabbanan, skila is more chomer. Rab Shimon sreifa chamura. And nafkamina, like we explained, what's the difference? L'mishum is chayiv shtei misas bezdin. If she's chayiv, if a person's chayiv two misas bezdin, nidoin b'chamura. So the Gemara says, my Reb Shimon. What's this drasha of Reb Shimon that Reb Shimon holds that a bas kohen, whether she's an arusa, whether she's married, she gets reifa. Where does Reb Shimon know this? So the Gemara says, the Tanya, Reb Shimon Aimer Shnei Klalois Nemra Babas Kayin. It says two principles are said by a Bas Kayin, and says the Gemara, there are two principles said by a Bas Kayin. So the Gemara says, Babas Kayin v'loy Babas Yisrael. Only two principles said by a Bas Kayin and not by a Bas Yisrael. There's distinctions by a Bas Yisrael too, between a Nesua that gets Chenek and a Arusa that gets Skila. So, Babas Kayin v'loy Babas Yisrael, rather, Ema af Babas Kayin. The two principles, even by a Bas Kayin. The Gemara says, let's see what this means. V'haitzi akasav nesua miklal nesua v'arusa miklal nesua. Arusa. Ma kishahaitzi akasav nesua miklal nesua. Adultery from regular adultery. Right? Because adultery of a married woman is normally chenek. And by a Bas Kayin it's different. So makish oitzi akasav nesua mechlal nesua lahachmer, afkish oitzi akasav arusa mechlal arusa lahachmer. So just like a Bas Yisrael that's married normally gets chenek, and if she's a Bas Kayin it's upgraded to sreifa. So also by an arusa Bas Kayin, it's upgraded from the normal penalty of skila to that of sreifa. So we see that sreifa is more chomer than skila. Now, zoymemei nesua Bas Kayin, bichlal zoymemei nesua Bas Yisrael. Here what happened is that Marshall and Barry testified that a Bas Kayin who was married committed adultery. And then Mel and Dov come and say, how could you say that they did that on Tu B'Shvat when you were with us in China? What they were doing in China, that's another story, but you were with us in China. And so now, so normally, by regular adultery, if Marshall and Barry were proven Zaymimim, they would have gotten what they wanted to give to the adulteress, they would get chenek. So here too, says the Gemara, they get chenek and they don't excuse me, here too, since they wanted to give this Bas Kayin Sreifa, so they get Sreifa. So Zayme Mei Nesua Bas Kayin, Bichlal Zayme Mei Nesua Bas Yisrael. So just like if they testified, Marshall and Barry testified that a regular a married woman committed adultery, the married woman would get chenek, so since they're Edom Zaymim, they get chenek. So the same thing according to Reb Shimon, if Marshall and Barry testified about a regular married Bas Kayin, she would get Sreifa. So now that Dov and Mel said that they were in China, so Marshall and Barry get Sreifa. It's a barbecue. V'zaymei arusa bas kayin, bichlal zaymei arusa bas Yisrael, and therefore the same thing. If Marshall and Barry testified about a Bas Kayin who was an Arusa, according to Reb Shimon, they would get Sreifa, just like they wanted to give her Sreifa. Just like the Azoymei Arusa Bas Yisrael, if Marshall and Barry testified about an Arusa Bas Yisrael and she would get stoned, so now we take Barry and Marshall and have them stoned. Now, Tanraban, Ubas ish koyen ki seichel, the daughter of a koyen that desecrates or makes chulin, makes profane. So I might think that this is talking about even Chilul Shabbos. Yachal afilu Chilul Eser Shabbos. And we should give her Sreifa instead of Skila. Talmud Leimer Liz nice. It's talking about promiscuity. Bechilulin shebiznus hakasem bedaber. It's talking about a profanation. It's talking about a desecration of promiscuity. Now I might think we give her Sreifa even if she's unmarried. Yachal afilu pnuya. So nema kan avia v'nema lahalan avia. It says here avia, and it says in another place avia. Malahalan, it means nusim zikas abal. It means a type of immorality with a married connection. Afkans nusim zikas abal. It's only with a married connection, not if she's unmarried. Oh, Eina Omer Avia El Lahitzias Kol Ha'adam. Maybe it's only saying Sreifa if she sleeps with her father. And that's the only time she's burnt. Kishu Omer Hi Mechaleles, that she have a Kol Adam Emor. When it says Hi Mechaleles, she profanes. But not that she is profaned. So it's not talking about where she's sleeping with her father, because if she slept with her father, then she would be profaned as well. So kishayme hi mechaleles have a kol adam emar. It means all people. Hamani mekayim avia. So avia doesn't mean that she slept with her father, but nemar kan avia v'nemar lahalan avia. It says here avia. It says elsewhere avia. Ma lahalan's nusim zikas abal. It's only where she sleeps with someone that's it's a desecration of znus that has a marital connection, not if she's unmarried. Afkan znus im zikas abal. Says the Gemara, How does Reb Shimon know that this Sreifa not only if she's a Nara, but also if she's married, and not just if she's not just if she's an Arusa, but also if she's married, and not just if she's a Nara, but even if she's a Boigris, even if she's older than 12 years and 1 day till 12 and a half years and 1 day. When it says Avia elsewhere, it's Nara Vihi Arusa. Afkan Nara Vihi Arusa, that she has to be from 12 years and 1 day to 12 and a half years and 1 day, and she has to be betrothed. Nara Vihi Nesua, if she's a Nara but she's married. Or Boigris Vihi Arusa, if she's older than 12 and a half and she's betrothed. Or even Boigeris Vihi Nesua. Vafkilu his kino minayin, even if she's old, how do we know that this Sreifa? Talmud Leimer from the extra vav. Ubas kayin mikol makom. In all conditions, if she's married and she's bas kayin, then the penalty is Sreifa because ki aviyah hi michaleles, because she profaned her father's home. Of course, according to the Rabbanan, it's not so. If she's a Nara Marasa Bas Kayen, she gets Skila, because the Rabban holds Skila is more Chomer than Sreifa. Only if she's married does she get Sreifa. But if she's an Arusa, she gets Skila. Okay, Rabbi say we did the Mishnah Yomis already, so to make way for a very, very exciting Chumash here,